I want to talk about the dopamine trap. And also, if nothing changes, then nothing's going to change. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sobriety and Silver. I woke up sober this morning because I went to bed sober last night. Today is 1,200 days of continuous sobriety. Day 236 of stacking silver, a little bit of gold, getting on YouTube and just having a blast. Before I go any further in this video, I am having bad allergies right now. My head is so stopped up, my nose is stopped up, my ears are plugged up, my throat's scratchy, so if I sound goofy in this video, well, I am goofy. I'm sober goofy, but whatever. I am having a rough time, guys, but I wanted to put a video out. Alright. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And that's absolutely 100% accurate. But if you can change one thing, if you're struggling with alcohol or drug addiction, if you can change that one hardest thing to change, which is your drug and alcohol addiction, if you can get sober and get clean, it's going to have a ripple effect, and so many other aspects of your life are going to change for the better. It is going to be an eye-opening, wonderful experience. It's almost like you're going to be dropped into a whole new world. But first you have to make that decision to get clean and sober, and then you have to plan your strategy on getting clean and sober. And what I mean by that is maybe talk to family and friends that have wanted you to get clean and sober and get them involved. And if you do, you'll have a much better chance of achieving the goal of getting clean and sober if you, the more people you have supporting you. And also, you may have to go through a withdrawal period. It may be something that you have to medically go through. So that's something you have to plan for. It's something you need to be honest with your doctor about. And if you don't have a doctor, go to the emergency room and just be completely honest. They may put you in a detox and medically walk you through your withdrawal symptoms. I am really struggling here, guys. What else was I going to say? Oh boy. I wanted to put this video out because this is something that I've been thinking about. Now, there's a thing called the dopamine trap, and this is something that I'm just learning about. Now, I knew that dopamine is something, it's a hormone that your brain releases. It's kind of like a feel-good hormone. It gives you pleasure, in other words. That first morning, or that first sip of coffee early in the morning, that, believe it or not, that first sip of coffee gives you a dopamine rush. Or for most people it does. I mean, I'm not saying this is for everybody. But that's an example, or maybe, a good TV show or a good book, something that really grabs your attention and you are engaged in. Your brain is producing dopamine and it's making you enjoy the situation. But there's also a thing called the dopamine trap when it comes to early sobriety. And what I want to discuss about that is after you go through you're clean and sober now. You're out of rehab or you're out of detox. You're done with the physical withdrawal symptoms of whatever you were addicted to. So now you're ready to face life clean and sober. but you're in the very early stages of it. So here are some things that I want people to understand that you may experience. Now, not everybody's going to experience these, but some people will, and I would almost guess that most people will. First one, a big one, is fatigue. Your body has been abused by the drugs and the alcohol. So when you get into early sobriety, your body's going to start healing. And the body will heal along with the brain. But with this comes fatigue. And it may be so sporadic that it gets on your nerves. You may not be able to sleep. Your sleep habits may be just all over the place. You may be tired all the time. But yet you can't sleep. You can't get a full 8 hours sleep. I still, after over 3 years of sobriety, find that I still suffer from insomnia sometimes. Now, it's not as often as it used to be, but there will be sporadic times where I'll go 2 or 3 days and just can't sleep very good. And most people have gone through that, whether you're recovering addict or recovering alcoholic or not. But it seems to affect recovering addicts and alcoholics more. And I'm not sure why. Again, especially after so long, but in early sobriety, I do understand why, because your body is healing and it takes a while for this process to correct itself. So don't get frustrated because you can't sleep, and this will go away. The body will correct itself, the mind will correct itself, and if you stay with it and stay on a routine, even if you're frustrated and can't seem to get it right, eventually you will start sleeping better, especially if you eat right and, exercise and everything a doctor would tell you, which I am certainly not, if you haven't figured that out by now. Another thing, the dopamine trap, is the dopamine itself. The brain has been, or could have been, not damaged, because the brain will heal itself, but the brain actually does shrink during alcoholism and drug addiction. Now, I'm not sure which drugs actually do that. I know alcohol does. And it really affects the dopamine levels. So during your early sobriety, you may not find pleasure in anything. You may try different things, reading a book, watching a movie, going out on a walk. I'm just using these as examples. Sorry, guys. Whew. I can't breathe. But using these as examples, in other words, no matter what you try, no matter what you do, it's just not enjoyable. You just don't care. You don't want to do it. Blah, blah, blah. This is something to be expected. This, too, will go away. Once the brain starts properly producing the correct amount of dopamine, given whatever the situation is, you will start feeling pleasure. You will start enjoying life. You will start enjoying reading or whatever hobby you decide that you like. Now, mine is stacking silver. Mine is getting on YouTube. Mine is buying silver, looking at silver. This is what gives me a dopamine rush. And when I say dopamine rush, I don't mean like I get high from it. I just mean it's something that I like to do. And my brain recognizes that I like to do it, and it gives me a little shot of dopamine there, and it's enjoyable. But I can also get that from a cup of green tea, which that's something new that I'm trying now, is instead of drinking so much coffee, My wife made me a cup of green tea, or no, I'm sorry, it was not green tea. It was peppermint tea. But I really enjoyed it. She gave it to me before I went to bed last night, maybe, I don't know, half hour to an hour before I went to bed. It was just enjoyable. It was pleasurable. It was tasted good, and I never considered myself a tea drinker, but I enjoyed it. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So you give your brain time to heal, because eventually you will start enjoying things. And that's when everything opens up. Once you start enjoying things, that's when the world just becomes amazing. That's when sobriety kicks in. That's when the joys of sobriety kick in. That's when the pleasure of sobriety kicks in. That's when you thank God that you are clean and sober. That's when you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, yes, I am clean, I am sober, I am going to enjoy the rest of my life. Whether it be 1 day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time, get through whatever you got to get through until that door opens. Because I promise you, once that door opens, once you get through that fatigue, once you get through that brain correcting itself to give you the proper amount of dopamine, and you start living life, you are going to feel like a brand new person. And you're going to look back at your old life that you have, and if you're anything like me, you're just going to say, never again. I am enjoying what I'm doing right now. Living the best life I can live. Enjoying every little thing I can enjoy. Be it big or small. I went to the store with my wife. And here's another dopamine rush. Well, I'm assuming. I have I live in an RV. My wife and I live in an RV. Well, it's kind of tucked back in the woods a little bit, and so every night when I go outside, there's a rabbit out there. And he's been out there for, I don't know, 3 or 4 nights now. Without fail, he's out there. So I went out. When I went to the store today, I picked up some carrots, a little bag of the little mini carrots there, and threw them in the cart, and my wife just looked at me and shook her head, because she knew. I was like, yeah, they're for a rabbit. That's something that I'm going to enjoy. Now, he wasn't out there tonight. Yeah, I know, I'm shooting a video at night. I get so confused doing this because, I don't know, I'm not going to release the video till in the morning, but I'm shooting it now, and it just confuses me. Anyway, back to the story. So I'm going to start putting carrots out for this rabbit. And it's just something that I'm going to enjoy doing. Because I'm sober. Because I'm clean and sober, and I'm living and loving every little bit of life that I possibly can. And I promise you, if you get through all that crap, the first thing is make a decision to get clean and sober. Second thing is plan how you're going to do it. And I don't mean take months and weeks and years and everything to plan it. Get through the physical withdrawal symptoms, whether it be medically or whatever you got to do. But then once you get through all that, just keep in mind that them first couple weeks, maybe not even that long, they're still going to be a little bit rough until the body heals. And then, man, I can't express the joy and the appreciation that you're going to feel for being clean and sober, going to bed sober, waking up sober, and enjoying life. Because it's waiting on you. All you got to do is make that one decision, and then everything's going to change. You guys have a beautiful, wonderful, blessed Monday. Hopefully these allergies will go away, and I'll see you in the next video.